Good morning. Welcome to Sunday, April 15th. I got up, I did record an episode of Dungeon Siege 2. I need to do more, but, you know, if that's all I get done today, that's better than nothing. And now I'm out here, it's, what time is it? Is it 8:30? Probably about 8:30. I think that was about 8:20. Yeah, pretty close. And by 9, I want to have the crock pot going. Now, starting right now, so it'll probably be sooner. But what I'm doing is I'm making, like, pulled chicken. I got drumsticks at Sam's the other day. And I have this Stubb's Sticky Sweet Legendary Barbecue Sauce that I've heard good things about. And now I don't necessarily have enough of that it's going to, like, go over the chicken. Now I'm only going to use, like, half the chicken from Sam's. The rest I'm going to put in the freezer. Maybe do something with it next weekend or something. But I was saying, you know, you don't want it to get dry in the crock pot. So I put water up to about a quarter inch, half inch, forget what it was. And it just sort of that sort of feel of, let's make sure that I can have this much liquid to add to it. And I talked to my mom yesterday about it, and she said, yeah, good thing to do is maybe make it like, because I was trying to figure out, you know, should I just add water? She's like, do you have chicken stock? I was like, I don't. So I could go get that, but I was talking about what I did have. And I have red cooking wine, which is supposed to help tenderize things as it is. She said probably do maybe a third to a quarter of the water as that. So I filled up the space, I measured it in a measuring cup, and it's just over a cup. So I'll probably do a cup and have it like a third of that cup be that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use a full cup, because I'm going to add that last. She said as long as I don't have too much of it, it shouldn't affect the flavor. So hopefully that's true. But otherwise, yeah, just starting to pull things together to get the crock pot going. Been a while since I've used this. And I have never slow cooked chicken. Hopefully it's easy. Okay, so I got my water wine mixture going there, and I just opened up the barbecue sauce. So I figure I will put a little bit of fluid just down before I even put any chicken on. It smells good. That is good. I still got a taste from the cap. Okay, so that's looking forward to it even more now. Not looking forward to having to mess with raw chicken. Oh well. Okay, in good progress. I put just like a splash of the water wine and of the barbecue sauce on the bottom of the pan. I layered a layer of chicken. I pretty much, as I opened up the package, every other one went to the bag and the pot. So half of it's in the pot, half of it's in the bag for another week. Because that's more than enough. But layered in and sort of twisting each one so it would kind of coat it. And then I put some more barbecue sauce on top of that so that the next few that go on top of that layer got kind of coated. I am now going to freeze these on the bottom, since it is meat. Freeze the extra chicken. I need to take out trash anyways, so I'll probably get rid of that with that, because I don't want raw chicken bits laying around. And so now we got chicken in there. And pretty much. I want to keep just a tiny bit in the jar, so that if when it's all done, if I want to splash a little bit on the top of the sandwich, because I did make get buns if I want to this sandwich, I can. And I do not need this much liquid, because that is pretty well covered. I'm gonna do something like that. Dump out the rest. I'm gonna grab a fork to spin some of these where I can see actual chicken bits. And then I'm gonna pretty much get it set going. Alright. Lid on. And set it for 8 hours on low. Sure, why not? Go! I'm thinking it's possible, like after church, I may come and try and pull at it with a fork to see what I can separate. Because some of those are pretty big drumsticks. And I do, of course, like I'm slow cooking chicken. And 8 hours should be fine. But there is always the concern of, well, it's chicken. I have to make sure it's all fully cooked. Yeah. Probably the next thing I'm going to do is actually get rid of this garbage that's in here, because I do not want to just leave the raw chicken bits out. Yeah, that only took me, what, 20 minutes? A little less, actually. And I got that all started, and now in like 8 hours, I'll have food. And I am getting ready to leave for church, and the chicken is right at the point where it's beginning to have that lovely barbecue aroma. Very nice, but I'm headed out. I'll see how it's doing when I get home. For now, headed to church.
Last week, we were reminded of the power of God, how powerful He is. That as we're worshiping, now we're worshiping the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth. And I think sometimes that can be a little intimidating. So I want you to stay in the spirit of worship, and I want you to picture, where are you right now in relation to His throne? Picture God. Where is He? And where are you? Are you far off? Are you standing far away from His throne?
At His feet.
Or are you kneeling right at His feet? And the Lord would say to you, you're covered in the blood of Christ. You're my child. Your place is at my feet. Your place is right at my throne, right with me.
And so worship was quite nice this morning. Went a bit long. You can certainly enjoy that. Whereas the message itself that the pastor gave was shorter. And really the subject of the message was the message that we had last weekend and sort of experience from last Sunday. Sort of explaining and talking about just the way God moves. And a lot of it just sort of almost like defending. Yeah, no, at times that's normal. God does not fit no nice, neat little box. He can definitely do things that are unexpected. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I can definitely see how people that, depending on where folks are coming from, could find it very strange to have people falling down in the aisles and etc. But yeah, so this week's message was explaining last week. Anyways, now we're headed to Texas Roadhouse, where I'm meeting my mom and Mike as well as a bunch of friends from church. And we'll have a good meal and spend some time together, and that'll be fun. So yeah, we had a big group of us from church, took up a couple tables, and I had a salad and a burger with fries. Pretty common, but it's good enough. But I am now going to head home. Probably. Nah. Before going home, I am going to drive by Nick and Bob's place. David, my buddy David, is in town, and they're doing their Pathfinder game today. So I won't stay too long. I don't want to bother them. But it is nice to at least get to stop by enough to see him, because I don't get to see David all that much. So I'll stop by briefly, hang out there, crash their game for a short time, and then head out and let them play. But yeah, might as well while I'm out and such. I need to get some things done at home, but I got a buddy in town, in from out of town. Might as well at least take a brief amount of time to see him. Hello.
Hi, Adam.
Hello. Random Adam appears.
So no, I think it'd be cool to have like a giant ship out the doors.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I do.
At first I thought it was Chinese, like,
That's exactly how the Chinese delivery guy usually does it. Just walks at the door carrying the camera. Yes, sir. So that was fun. Just just hung out for maybe 20, 25 minutes. And then I was out. 'Cause I gotta get home and try and get some stuff done. But it was good to at least stop and see them briefly. I did have to laugh because, you know, as sort of they're talking there, you know, because they'll run like an 8 to 10 hour, like they'll play for like 8 or 10 hours during the day. Like it's like a full day game, and they play like once a month. But they always, well, I mean, they joke, but from the side of it, it's because it's what actually happens. They'll, you know, play for 8 or 10 hours, and they'll cover like a day of you know, time in game. From the sound of it, you know, a day they're talking like, you know, if we really hurry up, we can get like a day and a half done. And I laugh because I mean, most of my sessions cover much more than that. We can progress a decent amount of time, but then I also sit and think, well, the last session of D&D that I ran was 2 hours, as they generally are these days. 2 hours, and it was basically one long combat. So even with the little bits that happened afterwards and such like that, it's probably less than 10 minutes worth of time that were covered in 2 hours the last time I played. I was like, oh, okay, so I at least occasionally have that, or a more severe level of time compression. But still, more often than not, they can get more done. Sounds like we'll probably be, most likely they'll be available to play tomorrow. In which case, maybe we'll finish my current campaign. It really kind of depends on what they choose to do. But they did just have like a major battle. I've equipped Bob's character for one of the story arcs that I know needs to basically conclude. You know, his character has an arc. I've pretty much equipped him to come to some sort of conclusion with it. So I'm not really sure how that will resolve, but it's possible that it could happen tomorrow. It's possible that they can just continue to drag things on forward. Because I don't have like a strict, this is where the campaign ends. It's sort of, yeah, no, when you guys reach a conclusion, it ends. I'm just sort of putting it on them. Ooh. Walk in the door and I can smell that barbecue. Let's take a look. And it's been long enough, I can try and do the thing. Maybe I go in with a fork and try and pull at it. I'm almost thinking maybe I want to wait the full 8 hours and then do it, and then just risk it taking a little longer. Not really sure. Yeah, I may just let it keep going because it looks like, well, first off, it looks like it's settled down a bit. Like, you can kind of see through there. The meat that's, you know, sticking up. There's still some sticking up, but it's definitely settled more into the liquid in there, and it's bubbling. And there's all the condensation on the top, and all that would trap heat, and all that stuff would be disturbed if I opened it. So I think I may just let it be and let it keep going. Probably the best chance for it to actually turn out good. Been spending time looking through Kickstarters and looked at the clock and realized it's time. Crockpot is now on warm, so it's no longer on the cooking mode. Time to open this up. Yeah, that just falls apart. Oh, it's hot. Good dough. Very good. Wonderful. Now, the work that I have to do with this will be... I'm not sure exactly the order I'm going to do it. Because I can make a sandwich when I'm hungry. And I can technically leave it for a little bit. Probably what I'll do is I'll grab a fork. And I'll just sort of scrape a bunch of stuff off of bone. Because I'll have to pull out the bones. I chose drumsticks because that should be relatively easy. Compared to most other, parts of the chicken. And basically I'll have like shredded chicken in there to make sandwiches and stuff with. But that's the idea behind it. And so I got most of the bones removed, all the big ones and most of the little spindly ones. Because pretty much they have, the big bone and then the little thing. I think some of the spindly ones are still in there, so I'll have to be careful. But it's definitely soupier than I thought it was going to be. Oh well. It's like, I didn't need... seeing it now, I'm like, I don't think I needed to add the water and wine. Although maybe I did. If not to add liquid, one of the things, and the reason to use the red cooking wine was because it makes things tender. So that might have helped with everything breaking up and being so nice, because, yeah, definitely, other than being a little more liquid than I needed, seems pretty nice. I may get, like, a spoon and try and get some of that out of there. Or I may leave it, and then when I make sandwiches, I can just drizzle that on top. Alright, so I cut my bread, and I got a slotted spoon here. Should work nicely. Remembering it's possible that there are a couple tiny little bones still in there. So when I'm eating this sandwich, be careful. I need a normal spoon too to get some extra sauce. Real big one. Alright, let's go over and try it. Alright, that looks wonderful. Alright, there we go. That's good. That's what I've been gathering things for a few weeks now. Getting the barbecue sauce and just now the chicken and bread this a couple days ago. There we go. So I'll have a sandwich, maybe two. And should have some meat to pack up for a day or two at work to have lunches. And otherwise, the rest of the evening was pretty boring. Laundry, editing, etc. But it's getting late now, and I do have to return to work tomorrow morning. Beginning of a new week, alas. So, thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues. Bye.